It's a path with no destination. And there's this concept I'm sure you guys are both familiar with, and others maybe too, that's been popularized called the infinite game. You're familiar?
Simon Sinek?
Yeah, and before him there was books being written about it. And the infinite game is, as applied to the corporate world and business, the way that he describes it is that there are certain companies that are playing an end game, that are doing work to make money, to eventually have an exit, to like make a bunch of cash. It's an end game. And the really enduring companies like Apple, for example, are playing the game in order to keep playing the game. There's actually no end at all. And this is the difference in somebody like my friend who's like, my purpose is money. And Steve Jobs, who is like famously that blood in the body analogy, like the purpose of money is just the same as the purpose of blood in a body. We make money so that we can continue to work and make products. And in the same way, like the only reason I would do this for free if I could. I would totally do Deep Game for free, but it's like not possible. So we do it we make money through Deep Game so that we can continue doing Deep Game and I can continue teaching. We charge for this retreat so that we can like do the retreat, rent the space, have the chef, not making any money at all, you know? So that's the difference. One of the great like indicators, and I think this is a really good place to kick off and actually break off into groups. There's a question that is a really good pointing question, which is, what would you do the rest of your life for free if you never got paid or rewarded for it? What would you do for free for the rest of your life? And I think actually it would be good to take that together, like tackle that together in groups of, let's say 3, if you want to break off. And you don't have to have the perfect answer, but just come up with the closest answer that you could. And then keep that question in mind as time goes on. It's a really good indication. Yeah, let's do that now. So however you want to split it up is fine. We'll do maybe 5-10 minutes. The first time I was ever asked this question, it was years and years ago, and I was like, I'd probably shoot a basketball. It feels really good. Like that's the one thing back then that I had actually achieved mastery in. And so there was this deep pleasure in just shooting. And now I understand more clearly that's more like a stage 1, because it's just about me ultimately. But the stage 2 application of that could be something like prolific shooting, which that turned into, then brought actually a few of us here, frankly. So there's, even if it's just partial, there's still clues, you know? So I'll share, I'll share what I didn't realize this until much, much later, but back even 10 years ago now, my friends and I, we'd like once a week, twice a week, we'd gather around my kitchen table, 3, 4, 5 of us, however many people were there. And we'd have discussions like this, exactly like this, talking about these philosophical concepts, or how as philosophical as we could be back then, and life and different things. And I used to get this pleasure out of those conversations that I didn't get anywhere else. It was like a really, really, really deep feeling. And I remember a lot of the time we'd end and they would say, oh my God, like why didn't we record that? We recorded a few of them actually. I don't still have the recordings, but we actually just put a computer down and recorded it. And it's so funny now looking back, because I never thought that was like a career path or something. It's like, what, this is just something I like to do. And now years later, it's become the thing that I do for like my entire life, my living. It's like my craft, you know, but I never considered it that way. So there are these things that each of us do, when done in a different way with a different application or a wider application, could become something really, really special and really intrinsic to us that we're like, it's right under our nose. It's so close we can't see it because we're just doing it all the time. We can't not do it. You know, it's that kind of feeling. If the world caved in and I was the last man alive, I'd be like still thinking about this stuff. You know, if I was just sitting here on an empty earth, I'd still be contemplating all of these questions. The way that you really help the world is by finding what you love to do and doing it in the way that you love to do it. It's not about thinking, what does the world need? Let me go give it to it. The world needs people who love what they do. That's what it needs. And so long as, like those characters in Atlas Shrugged that you mentioned, so long as we're going through the stages in order, meaning stage one is like, how do I become the absolute best I can be, and what do I really love to do, and cultivate skills in that area, then we can go on to stage two and actually be of use. But if we skip steps, then we're not really, who's to say, you know, that we even know what the world needs. If we deem something like broken or wrong, let me go fix that. Well, that's how, kind of a funny anecdote, but originally roads are said to have been paved to solve the problem of cow poop on the street, and the fact that we only had like a certain amount that we could travel. So we've got like people riding horses everywhere, horse and buggies, there's poop on the street, we've always got to clean it up, we can only get so far. Okay, let's pave the roads, let's create cars, great, problem solved. Well, guess what? Now we have global warming. Much bigger problem, you know, much bigger problem. And so the solution isn't to guess at what the world may need, because we just don't know, and we may create bigger problems in the process. The solution is to find what you love to do and do it in the way that you love to do it, because ultimately the world needs people that love what they do. Hey, it's Taylor. I hope you enjoyed today's talk. And if you did, the best thing to do right now while it's fresh in your mind is head over to deepgame.com and join us in our free masterclass, where you'll learn all of the fundamental principles of the part of basketball that's played with the mind. We've had players call this the best hour of basketball learning of their lives, and it's completely free right now. So head over to deepgame.com, join us. Once again, it's totally free, and I will see you there.